Hey guys, it's Infowars ASMR here, and today this is a long-awaited video request from many of my fans. Today I'm going to be reading about Elon Musk for you guys. So, Elon Reeve Musk, born June 28th, 1971, is a technology entrepreneur and engineer. He holds South African, Canadian, and U.S. citizenship and is the founder, CEO, and lead designer of SpaceX, co-founder, CEO, and product architect of Tesla Inc., co-founder and CEO of Neuralink, founder of The Boring Company, co-founder and co-chairman of OpenAI, and co-founder of PayPal. In December 2016, he was ranked 21st on the Forbes list of the world's most powerful people. As of October 2018, he has a net worth of $22.8 billion and is listed by Forbes as the 54th richest person in the world. Born and raised in Pretoria, South Africa, Musk moved to Canada when he was 17 to attend Queen's University. He transferred to the University of Pennsylvania 2 years later, where he received an economics degree from the Wharton School and a degree in physics from the College of Arts and Sciences. He began a PhD in applied physics and material sciences at Stanford University in 1995, but dropped out after 2 days to pursue an entrepreneurial career. He subsequently co-founded Zip2, a web software company, which was acquired by Compaq for $340 million in 1999. Musk then founded X.com, an online bank it merged with Confinity in 2000, and later that year became PayPal, which was bought by eBay for $1.5 million in October 2002. In May 2002, Musk founded SpaceX, an aerospace manufacturer and transport service company, of which he is a CEO and lead designer. He helped fund Tesla Incorporated, an electric vehicle and solar panel manufacturer, in 2003, and became its CEO and product architect. In 2006, he inspired the creation of SolarCity, a solar energy services company that is now a subsidiary of Tesla and operates as its chairman. In 2015, Musk co-founded OpenAI, a non-profit research company that aims to promote friendly artificial intelligence. In July 2016, he founded Neuralink, a neurotechnology company focused on developing brain-computer interfaces, and is its CEO. In December 2016, Musk founded The Boring Company, an infrastructure and tunnel construction company. In addition to his primary business pursuits, Musk has envisioned a high-speed transportation system known as the Hyperloop, and has proposed a vertical takeoff and landing supersonic jet electric aircraft with electric fan propulsion, known as the Musk Electric Jet. Musk stated that the goals of SpaceX, Tesla, and SolarCity revolve around his vision to change the world and humanity. His goals include reducing global warming through sustainable energy production and consumption, and reducing the risk of human extinction by establishing a human colony on Mars. Early life. Musk was born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, Transvaal, South Africa, the son of May Musk, a model and dietitian from Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, and Errol Musk, a South African electromechanical engineer, pilot, and sailor. He has a younger brother, Kimball, born 1972, and a younger sister, Tosca, born 1974. His maternal grandfather, Dr. Joshua Haltman, was an American-born Canadian. His paternal grandmother was British, and he also has Pennsylvania Dutch ancestry. After his parents divorced in 1980, Musk lived mostly with his father in the suburbs of Pretoria, which Musk chose 2 years after his parents split up, but now Musk says it was a big mistake. As an adult, Musk has severe resolutions with his father, whom he has referred to as a terrible human being. He is a half-sister and a half-brother. During his childhood, Musk was an avid reader. At the age of 10, he developed an interest in computing with the Commodore VIC-20. He taught himself computer programming at the age of 10, and by the age of 12 sold the code of basic video game he created Blaster to a magazine called PC and Office Technology for approximately $500. A web version of the game is available online. His childhood reading included Isaac Asimov's Foundation series, from which he drew the lesson that you should try to take the set of actions that are likely to prolong civilization, minimize the probability of a dark age, and reduce the length of a dark age if there is one. Musk was severely bullied throughout his childhood and was once hospitalized when a group of boys threw him down a flight of stairs and then smashed his head into the pavement until he lost consciousness. He later revealed that he had to get a nose job to repair the damage. Musk attended Waterkloof House Preparatory School and Bryanston High School before graduating from Pretoria Boys High School. Although Musk's father insisted that Elon go to college at Pretoria, Musk became determined to move to the U.S. As he states, "I remember seeing and thinking that America is where great things are possible, more than any other country in the world. Knowing it would be easy to get to the United States from Canada, he moved to Canada against his father's wishes in June 8, 1989. Before his 18th birthday, after obtaining a Canadian passport to his Canadian-born mother. Education. At the age of 17 in 1989, Elon Musk moved to Canada to attend Queen's University, avoiding mandatory service in the South African military. He left in 1992 to study business and physics at the University of Pennsylvania and graduated with an undergraduate degree in economics and stay for a second bachelor's degree in physics. After leaving Pennsylvania, Elon Musk headed to Stanford University in California to pursue a PhD in energy physics. However, his move coincided with the internet boom, and he dropped out of Stanford after just 2 days to become a part of it, launching his first company, Zip2 Corporation. Career. Zip2. In 1995, Musk and his brother, Kimball, started Zip2, a web software company, with money raised from a small group of angel investors. The company developed and marketed an internet city guide for the newspaper publishing industry. Musk obtained contracts with the New York Times and the Chicago Tribune, persuaded the board of dictators to abandon plans for a merger with CitySearch. While at Zip2, Musk wanted to become CEO. However, none of the board members would allow it. Compaq acquired Zip2 for $370 million USD in cash and $34 million USD in stock options. February 1999, Musk received $22 million USD for his 7% share from the sale. X.com and PayPal. In March 1999, Musk co-founded X.com, an online financial services and email company. With US $10 million in the sale from Zip2, 1 year later the company merged with Confinity, which had a money transfer service called PayPal. The company focused on the PayPal service and was renamed PayPal in 2001. PayPal's early growth was driven mainly by a viral marketing campaign where new customers were recruited when they received money through the service. Musk was ousted in October 2000 from his role as CEO, although he remained on the board due to disagreements with other leadership, notably over his desire to move PayPal's Unix-based infrastructure to Microsoft Windows. In October 2000, PayPal was acquired by eBay for $1.5 billion USD in stock, of which Musk received $165 million. Before its sale, Musk, who was the company's largest shareholder, owned 11.7% of PayPal shares. On July 7, 2017, Musk purchased the domain x.com from PayPal for an undisclosed amount, stating that it has sentimental value to him. SpaceX. In 2001, Musk conceptualized Mars Oasis, a project to land a miniature experimental greenhouse lab on Mars, containing food crops growing on Martian regolith, in an attempt to regain public interest in space exploration. In October 2001, Musk traveled to Moscow with Jim Cantrell, an aerospace supplies fixer, and Adio Resi, his best friend from college, to buy refurbished DNEPR intercontinental ballistic missiles, or ICBMs, that could send the envisioned payloads into space. The group met with companies such as NPL Lavokin and Cosmotros. However, according to Cantrell, Musk was seen as a novice and was consequently spat on by one of the Russian chief designers, and the group returned to the United States empty-handed. In February 2002, the group returned to Russia to look for 3 ICBMs, bringing along Mark Griffin. Griffin had worked for the CIA's venture capital arm in Cheadle, as well as NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and was just leaving Orbital Sciences, a maker of satellites and spacecraft. The group met again with Cosmotros and were offered 1 rocket for $8 million. However, this was seen by Musk as too expensive. Musk consequently stormed out of the meeting. On the flight back from Moscow, Musk realized that he could start a company that could build the affordable rockets he needed. According to early Tesla and SpaceX investor Steve Jurvetson, Musk calculated that the raw materials for building a rocket were only 3% of the sales price of a rocket at the time. It was concluded that theoretically, by applying vertical integration and the modular approach from software engineering, SpaceX could cut launch price by a factor of 10 and still enjoy a 70% gross margin. Ultimately, Musk ended up founding SpaceX with a long-term goal of creating a true spacefaring civilization. With US $100 million of his early fortune, Musk founded Space Exploration Technologies, or SpaceX, in May 2002. Musk is a CEO and Chief Technology Officer of the Hawthorne, California-based company. SpaceX develops and manufactures space launch vehicles with a focus on advancing the state of rocket technology. The company's first 2 launch vehicles are the Falcon 1 and Falcon 9 rockets, a nod to the Star Wars Millennium Falcon. And his first spacecraft is the Dragon, a nod to Puff the Magic Dragon. In 7 years, SpaceX designed the family of Falcon launch vehicles and the Dragon multi-purpose spacecraft. In September 2008, SpaceX's Falcon 1 rocket became the first privately funded liquid-fueled rocket vehicle to put a satellite into Earth orbit. On May 25, 2012, the SpaceX Dragon vehicle merged with the ISS, making history as the first commercial company to launch and berth a vehicle to the International Space Station. In 2006, SpaceX was awarded a contract from NASA to continue the development and test of the SpaceX Falcon 9 launch vehicle and Dragon spacecraft in order to transport cargo to the International Space Station, followed by a US $1.6 billion NASA Commercial Resupply Services Program contract on December 23, 2008. For 12 of its Falcon 9 and Dragon spacecraft to the space station, replacing the U.S. Space Shuttle after it retired in 2011. Astronaut transport to the ISS is currently handled solely by the Soyuz, but SpaceX is one of the 2 companies awarded by a contract by NASA as part of the Commercial Crew Development Program, which is intended to develop a U.S. astronaut transport capability by 2018. Musk believed that the key to making space travel affordable is to make rockets reusable. Though most experts in the space industry did not believe that reusable rockets were possible or feasible. On December 22, 2015, SpaceX successfully landed the first stage of its Falcon rocket back at the launch pad. This was the first time in history such a feat had been achieved by an orbital rocket. It is a significant step towards rocket reusability, lowering the cost of access to space. The first stage recovery was replicated several times in 2016 by landing on an autonomous spaceport drone ship, an ocean-based recovery platform, and by the end of 2017, SpaceX had landed and recovered the first stage on 16 missions in a row where a landing and recovery were attempted, including all 14 attempts in 2017. 20 out of 42 first-stage Falcon 9 boosters have been recovered overall since the Falcon 9 maiden flight in 2010. The most recent full year, 2017, SpaceX launched 18 successful Falcon 9 flights, more than doubling their previous year of 8. On February 26, 2018, SpaceX successfully launched the Falcon Heavy, the fourth highest capacity rocket ever built, after Saturn V, Energia, and N1, and the most powerful rocket in operation as of 2018. The inaugural mission carried a Tesla Roadster belonging to Musk as a Tell-Me payload. SpaceX is both the largest private producer of rocket engines in the world and holder of the record for the highest thrust-to-weight ratio for a rocket engine. SpaceX has produced more than 100 operational Merlin 1D engines. Each Merlin 1D engine can vertically lift the weight of 40 average family cars. In combination, the 9 Merlin engines in the Falcon 9 first stage produce anywhere from 5.8 to 6.7 mn, 1.3 to 1.5 million pounds of thrust, depending on altitude. Musk was influenced by Isaac Asimov's Foundation series and views space exploration as an important step in preserving and expanding the consciousness of human life. Musk said that multiplanetary life may serve as a hedge against threats to the survival of the human species. An asteroid or a supervolcano could destroy us, and we face the risk the dinosaurs never saw: an engineered virus, an inadvertent creation of a micro black hole, catastrophic global warming. Some as yet unknown technology could spell the end of us. Humankind evolved over millions of years, but in the last 60 years, atomic weaponry created the potential to extinguish ourselves. Sooner or later, we must expand life beyond this green and blue ball, or go extinct. Musk's goal is to reduce the cost of human spaceflight by a factor of 10. In a 2011 interview, he said he hopes to send humans to Mars' surface within 10 to 20 years. In Ashley Vance's biography, Musk stated that he wants to establish a Mars colony by 2040 with a population of 80,000. Musk stated that since Mars' atmosphere lacks oxygen, all transportation would have to be electric cars, electric trains, Hyperloop, electric aircrafts. Musk stated in June 2016 that the first unmanned flight of the larger Mars Colonial Transporter spacecraft is aimed for departure to the Red Planet in 2022, to be followed by the first manned MCT Mars flight departing in 2024. In September 2016, Musk revealed details of his architecture to explore and colonize Mars. By 2016, Musk's private trust holds 54% of SpaceX stock, equivalent to 78% of voting shares. In late 2017, SpaceX unveiled the design for its next-generation launch vehicle and spacecraft system, BFR, that would support all SpaceX launch service provider capabilities with a single set of very large vehicles, Earth orbit, lunar orbit, interplanetary missions, and even intercontinental passenger transport on Earth, and totally replace the Falcon 9, Falcon Heavy, and Dragon vehicles in the 2020s. The BFR will have a 9-meter, 30 feet core diameter. Significant development on the vehicles began in 2017, while the new rocket engine development began in 2012. Tesla. Tesla Incorporated, originally Tesla Motors, was incorporated in July 2003 by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, who financed the company to the Series A of round funding. Both men played active roles in the company's early development prior to Elon Musk's involvement. Musk led the Series A of investment in February 2004, joining Tesla's board of directors as its chairman. Musk took an active role within the company and oversaw Roadster product design at a detailed level, but was not deeply involved in day-to-day business operations. Following the financial crisis in 2008 and after a series of escalating conflicts in 2007, Eberhard was ousted from the firm. Musk assumed the leadership of the company as CEO and product architect, positions he still holds today. Tesla Motors first built an electric sports car, the Tesla Roadster, in 2008, with sales of about 2,500 vehicles in 31 countries. Tesla began delivery of its four-door Model S sedan on June 22, 2012, and unveiled its third product, the Model X, aimed at the SUV/minivan market, on February 9, 2012. However, the Model X launch was delayed until September 2015. In addition to its own cars, Tesla sells electric powertrain systems to Daimler for the Smart EV, Mercedes B-Class electric drive, and Mercedes A-Class, and to Toyota for the RAV EV. Musk was able to bring in both companies as long-term investors of Tesla. Musk has favored building a sub-$30,000 compact Tesla model and building and selling electric vehicle powertrain components so that other automakers can produce electric vehicles at affordable prices without having to develop products in-house. This led to the Model 3 that is planned to have a base price of $35,000. Several mainstream publications have compared him with Henry Ford for his work on advanced vehicle powertrains. In a May 2013 interview with All Things Digital, Musk said that to overcome the range of limitations on electric cars, Tesla is expanding its network of supercharger stations, tripling the number on the east and west coast of the U.S. that June, with plans for more expansion across North America, including Canada, throughout the year. As of June 29, 2016, Musk owns about 28.9 million Tesla shares, which equates to about 22% of the company. As of 2014, Musk's annual salary is $1, similar to that of Steve Jobs and other CEOs. The remainder of his compensation is in the form of stock and performance-based bonuses. In 2014, Musk announced that Tesla would allow its technology patents to be used by anyone in good faith in a bid to entice automobile manufacturers to speed up development of electric cars. The unfortunate reality is electric car programs, or programs for any vehicle that doesn't burn hydrocarbons, at the major manufacturers are small to non-existent, constituting an average of far less than 1% of the total vehicle sales, Musk said. In February 2016, Musk announced that he'd acquired the Tesla.com domain from Stu Grossman, who had owned it since 1992, and changed Tesla's homepage to that domain. In January 2018, Musk was granted an option to buy up to 20.3 million shares of Tesla's market value, were to rise to $650 billion. Majority shareholder approval was pending as of March 5, 2018. The grant was also meant to end speculation about Musk's potential departure from Tesla to devote more time to his other business ventures. A report by advisory firm Glass Lewis & Co. to his clients arguing against granting the options. The New York Post describes the pending stock grant as an astronomical deal in pay when it reported that Tesla accepted $750 million in public funds from New York Governor Andrew Cuomo as part of the Buffalo Billion Project and planned to invest money to help the economy of the Buffalo, New York area. The money was used to build a factory and infrastructure for solar panel maker SolarCity, which Tesla acquired. As of March 2018, the plant employed just a few hundred workers. Its future remains uncertain. The Buffalo area actually lost nearly 5,000 jobs between December 2016 and December 2017. In September 2018, Musk was charged by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission for a tweet claiming that funding had been secured from taking Tesla private. The lawsuit characterized the tweet as false, misleading, and damaging to investors. It sought to bar Musk from serving as CEO on publicly traded companies. 2 days later, Musk reached a settlement with the SEC. As a result, Musk and Tesla were fined $20 million each, and Musk was forced to step down as Tesla chairman within 45 days while remaining Tesla CEO. Musk also proclaimed in several interviews since that he does not regret sending the tweet that triggered the SEC investigation. According to Reuters, Musk said that the tweet cost him and his company $20 million in fines was worth it. Musk also went on to tweet on October 1st, 2018, a link to OPP by Naughty by Nature as a take on what had happened in between him and the ACC and the SEC. According to ABC News, as October 4, 2018, Musk issued a sarcastic tweet describing the agency SEC as the short seller enrichment commission, despite having agreed to settlement terms a week earlier that his company Tesla would monitor tweets and other communications. In a December 2018 interview with CBS's 60 Minutes, Musk had mentioned that since reaching an agreement with SEC, none of his tweets have been censored. He further mentioned that he has no respect for the SEC by saying, "I want to be clear, I do not respect the SEC." Following Musk's resignation as a chairman, Tesla named Robin Denholm to replace Elon Musk as the acting chairman. This decision came after weeks of speculation on whether Tesla would nominate James Murdoch. In January 2019, Musk traveled to China for the groundbreaking of Tesla's Shanghai Gigafactory, which is the company's first large-scale plant outside the U.S. Part of his visit to China, Musk also met the Chinese Premier Li Keqiang. During their exchange, Musk confessed his love for China and wished he could visit China more often, to which the Chinese Premier was quoted as saying, "We can issue a Chinese green card if that helps." February 2019. According to Forbes, Musk stated in a tweet that Tesla built 500,000 cars in 2019. Dana Mutswinkas, who arrived on September 17th of December to serve as Tesla's general counsel, reporting to Musk and likely reviewing his tweets after the settlement arguments reached, resigned on 21st February. The SEC reacted to Musk's tweet by filing in court, holding him in contempt for violating terms of settlement agreement with such a tweet. On the 26th of February 2019, as mentioned in Bloomberg, Musk sarcastically addressed SEC in another tweet saying SEC forgot to read Tesla's earnings transcript, which clearly states 350 to 500K. How embarrassing. SolarCity. Musk provided the initial concept and financial capital for SolarCity, which was then co-founded in 2006 by his cousins Lyndon and Peter Rive. By 2013, SolarCity was the second largest provider of solar power systems in the U.S. SolarCity was acquired by Tesla in 2016 and is currently a wholly owned subsidiary of Tesla. The underlying motivation for funding both SolarCity and Tesla was to help combat global warming. In 2016, Musk announced that SolarCity and Tesla are collaborating to use electric vehicles batteries to smooth the impact of rooftop solar on the power grid, with the program going live in 2013. Gigafactory. On June 17, 2014, Musk committed to building a SolarCity advanced production faculty in Buffalo, New York, that would triple the size of the largest solar plant in the U.S. Musk stated that the plant will be one of the single largest solar panel production plants in the world, and it will be followed by one or even more, even bigger facilities in subsequent years. The Tesla Gigafactory 2 is a photovoltaic cell factory leased by Tesla's subsidiary, SolarCity, in Buffalo, New York. Construction on the factory started in 2014 and was completed in 2017. Hyperloop. On August 12, 2013, Musk unveiled a concept for a high-speed transportation system incorporating reduced pressure tubes in which pressurized capsules ride on an air cushion, driven by linear induction motors and air compressors. The mechanism for releasing the concept was an alpha design document that, in addition to scoping out the technology, outlined a national route where such a transport system might be built between the greater Los Angeles area and the San Francisco Bay Area. After envisioning Hyperloop, Musk assigned a dozen engineers from Tesla and SpaceX who worked for 9 months, establishing the conceptual foundations and creating the designs for the transportation system. An early design for the system was then published in a white paper posted to the Tesla and SpaceX blogs. Musk's proposal, if technologically feasible, at the cost he has cited, would make Hyperloop travel cheaper than any other mode of transport for such long distances. The alpha design was proposed to use a partial vacuum to reduce aerodynamic drag, which it is theorized would allow for high-speed travel with relatively low power. With certain other features like air beam skis and an inlet compressor to reduce free stream flow, the document of alpha design estimated the total cost of an LA to San Francisco Hyperloop system at $6 billion USD, but this amount is speculative. In June 2015, Musk announced a design competition for students and others to build Hyperloop pods to operate on a SpaceX-sponsored mile-long track in a 2015 to 2017 Hyperloop pod competition. The track was used in January 2017, and Musk also started building a tunnel. Hyperloop One, a company unaffiliated with Musk, had announced that it had done its first successful test run on its DevLoop track in Nevada on July 13, 2017. It's on May 12, 2017 at 12:02 a.m. and had less than 5.3 seconds, reaching a top speed of 70 miles per hour. On July 20th, 2017, Elon Musk announced that he had gotten verbal government approval to build a Hyperloop from New York to Washington, D.C., stopping in both Philadelphia and Baltimore. However, the New York City Transit Authority, Southeastern Pennsylvania Transport Authority, Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority, Maryland Transit and Administration, the United States Department of Homeland Security, as well as the mayors of New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C., state that they are unaware of any such agreement. OpenAI. In December 2015, Musk announced the creation of OpenAI, a not-for-profit artificial intelligence research company. OpenAI aims to develop artificial general intelligence in a way that is safe and beneficial to humanity. By making AI available to everyone, OpenAI wants to counteract large corporations who may gain too much power by owning superintelligent systems devoted to profits, as well as governments which may use AI to gain power and even oppress their citizenry. Musk has stated that he wants to counteract the concentration of power. In 2018, Musk left the OpenAI board to avoid possible future conflicts with his role as the CEO of Tesla, as Tesla increasingly becomes involved in AI. However, in an interview with Joe Rogan in September 2018, Musk warned about the dangers of developing AI indiscriminately. In January 2019, Mark Harris of The Guardian noted that in 2013, January, the Musk Foundation added a line to its website, stating its support for the development of safe AI to benefit humanity. Neuralink. In 2016, Musk co-founded Neuralink, a neurotechnology startup company to integrate the human brain with artificial intelligence. The company is centered on creating devices that can be implanted in the human brain, with the eventual purpose of helping human beings merge with software and keep pace with advancements in artificial intelligence. These enhancements could improve memory or allow direct interfacing with computing devices. Musk sees Neuralink and OpenAI as related. OpenAI is a nonprofit dedicated to minimizing the dangers of AI, while Neuralink is working on its ways to implant technology into our brains and create mind-computer interfaces. The Boring Company. On December 17th, 2016, while stuck in traffic, Musk tweeted, "I'm going to build a tunnel boring machine and just start digging." The company was named The Boring Company. On January 21st, 2017, Musk tweeted, "Exciting progress on the tunnel front. Plan to start digging in a month or so." The first tunnel will start on the SpaceX campus. The boring test tunnel runs underneath West 120th Street. As of January 26, 2017, discussions with regulatory bodies have begun. In February 2017, the company began digging a 30-foot wide, 50-foot long, and 15-foot deep test trench on the premises of SpaceX's offices in Los Angeles, since construction requires no permits. Musk had said in early 2017 that a 10-fold decrease in tunnel boring cost per mile is necessary for economic feasibility of the proposed tunnel network. By late 2018, TBC had active construction, approved plans in place, or an operational tunnel in several areas of the U.S., Baltimore, Chicago, and L.A. TBC provided an update on the state of their technology and product line when they opened to the public their first mile-long test tunnel in Hawthorne, California, on December 18, 2018, saying that has been a proof of concept for the technology. Design is complete for the third-generation boring TBM Proof Rock, slated to support a 15 times improvement in tunneling speed over the existing state-of-the-art, and the machine will be assembled and begin engineering testing in 2029. Pravda.com. After a string of negative press targeting Tesla caused Musk to become frustrated. Specifically, articles published by Reveal News criticizing Tesla for its factory safety procedures. Musk announced on Twitter that he is planning on creating a website where users can rate the truthfulness of specific articles, in addition to the credibility of journalists and publications. He suggested calling it Pravda after a Soviet Union-era Communist Party newspaper of the same name. This caused backlash from many journalists, claiming that a platform where any user could freely vote on an article or a journalist's credibility could be prone to abuse. After realizing the site Pravda.com is used by the Ukraine internet newspaper Ukrainskaya Pravda, Musk bought the site Pravda.com on May 25, 2018. Pravda TUH. Tham Luang Cave Rescue. In June 2018, Musk attempted to provide assistance to rescuers during the Tham Luang Cave Rescue by ordering his employees to build a small rescue pod. Musk responded to requests for help from Twitter users, contacted James Yenbamroon, CEO of Thailand-based satellite company MoveSpace, to get him connected with the Thai government. He then ordered engineers from two of his companies to design a child-sized submarine to help the rescue effort and publicize the process via Twitter. Engineers at Musk companies, SpaceX and the Boring Company, built the mini submarine out of a Falcon 9 liquid oxygen transfer tube and personally delivered it to Thailand. Named Wild Boar after the children's soccer team, its design, a 5-foot long, 12-inch wide seal tube weighing about 90 pounds, propelled manually by divers in the front and back, was intended to solve the problem of safely transporting the children who might have had difficulty learning the scuba skills required to exit the cave on their own without panicking. In case the mini submarine could not fit through the cave system, Elon Musk also requested wing inflatables, California-based inflatable boat manufacturer, to build inflatables and escape pods. The pods were designed, fabricated, and tested in one day before being flown to Thailand. By this time, 8 of the 12 children had already been rescued, and Thai authorities decided not to use the submarine, describing it as technologically impressive but impractical. Device viability. The supervisor of the rescue operation, Naransak Ostankor, dismissed the submarine as impractical under the current circumstances. A rescue caver who had been exploring the cave for the past 6 years, who had originally located the trapped football team, said that Musk's idea had absolutely no chance of working. The submarine, I believe, was about 5'6" long, rigid, so it wouldn't have gone around corners or around any obstacles. It wouldn't have made the first 50 meters into the cave from the dive start point. Musk tweeted that Richard Stanton, leader of the international diving team, had earlier urged Musk to continue construction of the mini submarine as a backup in case the flooding worsened. Although the device could safely hold an occupant, there were concerns that its rigid body was only slightly smaller than the narrowest passages in the cave, making it risky to get it through the tire turns, media coverage, and Musk's behavior. As media coverage of the event grew, some were skeptical of Musk's intentions, claiming the submarine was mainly built for publicity for Tesla and Musk, citing the apparent uselessness of the device. One of the divers, said to have played a major role in the rescue, criticized the submarine as amounting to nothing more than public relations effort with no chance of success, and that Musk had no concept of what the cave passage was like, and said that Musk can stick his submarine where it hurts. Musk reasserted on Twitter that the device would have worked and referred to the diver as a pedo guy, without offering any evidence to support the claim, causing backlash against Musk. He subsequently deleted the tweets along with the earlier tweet, in which he told another critic of the device, "Stay tuned, jackass." On July 16th, the diver stated that he was considering legal action in relation to Musk's comments. After Musk's tweets, Tesla fell 4% as some investors worried about his erratic behavior. Tesla investors subsequently demanded that Musk apologize. 2 days later, Musk issued an apology for his remarks. "The fault is mine and mine alone, and my words were spoken in anger." On August 28th, 2018, in response to criticism from a writer on Twitter regarding how Musk had handled the diver's criticism, Musk circled back to the pedophilia accusation, tweeting, "You don't think it's strange he hasn't sued me? He was offered free legal services." The following day, a letter from Elon Wood, the rescuer's attorney, dated August 6th, emerged, showing that he'd been making preparations for a libel lawsuit. On September 5th, 2018, a reporter from BuzzFeed News published an email written by Musk on August 30th, marked off the record, saying, "I suggest that you call people you know in Thailand, find out what's actually going on, and stop defending child rapists, you fucking asshole." Through this alleged threat of a lawsuit, which magically appeared when I raised the issue, I fucking hope he sues me. Musk confirms that he had sent the email. The diver subsequently filed a defamation suit in Los Angeles federal court in mid-September 2018, with plans to also file a similar case in the UK. The lawsuit contends that Musk embarked on a PR campaign to destroy the diver's reputation by publishing false and heinous accusation of criminality against him to the public, and seeks upwards of $75,000 USD in damages. Tesla Kila. Musk first mentioned Tesla Kila in an April Fool's tweet in 2018. The proposed Tesla-branded tequila became closer to a reality in October 2018, as Tesla filed an intent-to-use trademark application with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. The trademark is for distilled agave liquor. Musk reaffirmed his intention to release the product with a tweet featuring a mock-up of the bottle on October 12th. Mexico's Tequila Regulatory Council has publicly denounced the proposed product, arguing if it wants to make Tesla Tequila viable as a tequila, it would have to associate itself with an authorized tequila producer, comply with certain standards, and request authorization from Mexico's Industrial Property Institute. Political views. Politically, Musk has described himself as half Democrat, half Republican, and I'm somewhere in the middle, socially liberal, and fiscally conservative, prompted by the emergence of self-driving cars and artificial intelligence. Musk has voiced support for a universal basic income. He additionally backs direct democracy. He has described himself as a socialist, but not the kind that shifts resources from most productive to least productive, pretending to do good, while actually causing harm, arguing instead true socialism seeks greatest good for all. He supports targeting an exclusive tax rate of 40%, prefers consumption taxes to income taxes, and supports the estate tax as the probability of progeny being equally excellent at a capital allocation is not high. Musk has described to the U.S. as inarguably the greatest country that's ever existed on Earth, describing it as the greatest force for good of any country that's ever been. Musk believes democracy would not exist any longer if not for the U.S., saying that prevented the disappearance on 3 occasions through his participation in World War I, II, and the Cold War. Musk also stated that he thinks it would be a mistake to say the U.S. is perfect. It certainly is not. There have been many foolish things the U.S. has done and bad things the U.S. has done. Before the election of Donald Trump as president of the U.S., Musk criticized candidate Trump by saying, "I feel a bit stronger that he's probably not the right guy. He doesn't seem to have the sort of character that reflects well on the U.S." Following Donald Trump's inauguration, Musk has subsequently commented, "The more voices of reason that the president hears, the better." He subsequently resigned from both in June 2017 in protest at Trump's decision to withdraw the U.S. from the Paris Agreement on climate change. Lobbying. In in an interview with the Washington Post, Musk stated that he has a significant, though not top-tier, donor to Democrats, but that also he gives heavily to Republicans. Musk further stated that political contributions are a requirement in order to have a voice in the U.S. government. A 2012 report from the Sunlight Foundation, a nonpartisan group that tracks government spending, found that since 2002, SpaceX has spent more than $4 million on lobbying the U.S. Congress and more than $800,000 in political contributions to Democrats and Republicans. The same report that says SpaceX's campaign to win political support has been systematic and sophisticated, and that, unlike most tech startups, SpaceX has maintained a significant lobbying presence in Washington almost since day one, and that Musk himself has donated roughly $725,000 to various campaigns since 2002. In 2004, he contributed $2,000 to President George W. Bush's re-election campaign, maxing out to Barack Obama's re-election campaign, donated $5,000 to Republican Senator Marco Rubio, who represents Florida, a state critical to the space industry. All told, Musk and SpaceX gave out roughly $250,000 in the 2012 election cycle. Additionally, SpaceX hired former Republican Senate Majority Leader Trent Lott to represent the company via the Washington-based lobbying group Patent Blocks LLP. Alongside Patent Blocks LLP, SpaceX uses several other outside lobbying firms who work with SpaceX's own lobbyists. Musk has been a supporter of the U.S. Political Action Committee, FWD.US, which was started by fellow high-profile entrepreneur Mark Zuckerberg, and advocates for immigration reform. However, in May 2013, Musk publicly withdrew his support in protests of advertisements the PAC was running that supported causes like the Keystone Pipeline. Musk and other members, including David O. Sachs, pulled out, criticizing the strategy as cynical. Musk further stated, "We shouldn't give in to the politics. If we give in to that, we'll get the political system we deserve." In December 2013, Sean Becker of the media political website Mike called Musk a complete hypocrite, stating that for the 2014 election cycle, Musk has contributed to the Longhorn PAC and the National Republican Congressional Committee, both of which have funded the campaigns of anti-science, anti-environment candidates such as Rep. Michelle Bachmann. Musk has directly contributed to Republican Senator Marco Rubio, who has been accused of holding similar positions regarding climate change. Subsidies. Musk has stated that he does not believe the U.S. government should provide subsidies to companies, but should instead use a carbon tax to price in the negative externality of air pollution and discourage poor behavior. Musk says that the free market would achieve the best solution and that producing environmentally unfriendly vehicles should come with its own consequences. Musk's statements have been widely criticized. With Stanford University, Professor Fred Turner noted that if you're an entrepreneur like Elon Musk, you will take the money where you can get it, but at the same time believe as a matter of faith that it's entrepreneurship, technology that are the sources of social change, not the state. It is not quite self-delusion, but there's a habit of thinking of oneself as freestanding, independent agent, and of not acknowledging that the subsidies that one received. And this goes all the time in Silicon Valley. Author Michael Schellenberger argued that in the case of Musk, it is hard not to read that as a kind of defensiveness. And I think there's a business reason for it. They are dealing with a lot of investors for whom subsidies are not the basis of a long-term viable business, and they often want to exaggerate the speed with which they're going to be able to become independent. is we would all be better off if these entrepreneurs were a bit more grateful, a bit more humble. While journalist and author Jim Motiville, who interviewed Musk at High Voltage, his 2011 book about the electric vehicle industry, speculate that Elon is now looking at it from the point of view of a winner, and he doesn't want to see other people win because they get government money. I do think there's a tendency of people, once they've succeeded, to want to pull the ladder up after them. In 2015, Musk's statements were subject to further scrutiny when an LA Times article claimed that SpaceX, Tesla, SolarCity, and buyers of their products had or were projected to receive together an estimated $4.9 billion in government subsidies over 20 years. One example given is New York State, which is spending $750 million to build a solar panel factory in Buffalo, which will lease to SolarCity for $1 a year. The deal also includes no property taxes for a decade, an estimated $260 million valuation. Musk employs a former U.S. State Department official as the chief negotiator for Tesla. Destiny and religion. When asked whether he believed there was some kind of destiny involved in humanity's transition to a multiplanetary species rather than just physics, Musk responded, "Well, I do. Do I think there's some sort of master intelligence architecting all this stuff? I think probably not, because then you have to say, where does the master intelligence come from? So it sort of begs the question. So I think, really, can you explain this with the fundamental laws of physics? You know, it's a complex phenomenon from simple elements." Musk has stated that he does not pray or worship any being, though he asked any entities that were listening to bless the launch before an important Falcon 1 launch when asked whether he believed that religion and science could coexist. Musk said most likely not. Extraterrestrial life. Although Musk believes there could be simple life on other planets, he's unsure whether other intelligent life is likely. Musk later said that he hopes that there is other intelligent life in the known universe. Say that is probably more likely than not, but that's a complete guess. Musk has also considered the simulation hypothesis as a potential solution to the Fermi paradox. The absence of any noticeable life may be an argument in favor of us being in a simulation. Like when you're playing an adventure game and you can see the stars in the background, but you can't ever get there. If it's not a simulation, then maybe we're in a lab and there's some advanced alien civilization that's watching how we develop. Out of curiosity, like mold in a petri dish. If you look at our current technology level, something strange has to happen to civilizations. I mean strange in a bad way. And it could be that there are a whole lot of dead one-planet civilizations. Artificial intelligence. Musk has frequently spoken about the potential dangers of AI, calling it the most serious threat to the survival of the human race. During a 2014 interview at the MIT Aero-Astrocontinental Symposium, Musk described AI as humanity's largest existential threat, stating, "I'm increasingly inclined to think that there should be some regulatory oversight, maybe at the national and international level, just to make sure we don't do something very foolish." Musk described the creation of artificial intelligence as summoning the demon. Despite this, Musk has previously invested in DeepMind, an AI firm in Vicarious, a company working to improve machine intelligence. In January 2015, he donated $10 million to the Future of Life Institute, an organization focused on challenges posed by advanced technologies. He's the co-chairman of OpenAI, a nonprofit AI research company. Musk said that his investments are not from the standpoint of actually trying to make any investments return. "I just like to keep an eye open on what's going on with AI." Musk continued, "There have been movies about this, like Terminator. There are some scary outcomes. We should try to make sure the outcomes are good, not bad." In June 2016, Musk asked whether he thinks humans live in a computer simulation, to which he answered, "The strongest argument for us probably being in a simulation, I think, is the following. 40 years ago we had Pawn, two rectangles and a dot. That's where we were. Now 40 years later we have photorealistic 3D simulations with millions of people playing simultaneously. It's getting better every year, and soon we'll have virtual reality, with augmented reality. If you assume any rate of improvement at all, then the games will become indistinguishable from reality, just indistinguishable. Musk's dark warnings over AI have brought some controversy. He and Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg have clashed, with the latter calling his warnings irresponsible. Musk responded to Zuckerberg's censure by saying that he had discussed AI with Zuckerberg and found him to only have a limited understanding of the subject. In 2014, Slate's Adam Elkis argued that current AIs were as intelligent as toddlers, and only a certain field is going on to say Musk summoning the demon analogy may be harmful because it would result in significant cuts to AI research budgets. The Information Technology and Innovation Foundation, a Washington, D.C. think tank, awarded its annual Luddite Award to alarmist touting an AI intelligence apocalypse. Its president, Robert D. Atkinson, complained that Musk and others say AI is the largest existential threat to humanity. Atkinson stated, "That's not a very winning message if you want to get AI funding out of Congress to the National Science Foundation." Need to sharply disagree with the ITIF in the April 2016 editorial, siding instead with Musk, concluding it is crucial that progress in technology is matched by solid, well-funded research to anticipate the scenarios it can bring about. If that is a Luddite perspective, then so be it. In 2015 Washington Post editorial, researcher Murray Shanahan stated that human-level AI is unlikely to arrive in the near future, but nevertheless, it's time to start thinking through the consequences now. Public transport. At a Tesla event on the science of the conference on neural information processing systems in December 2017, Musk stated that, "I think public transport is painful. It sucks. Why do you want to get on something with a lot of other people that doesn't leave where you want it to leave, doesn't start where you want it to start, doesn't end where you want it to end? And it doesn't go all the time. It's a pain in the ass. That's why everyone doesn't like it. There's like a bunch of random strangers, one of who might be a serial killer. Okay, great. So that's why people like individualized transport that goes where you want, when you want." Afterwards, he dismissed an audience member's response that public transport functioned effectively in Japan. His comment sparked widespread criticism from both the public and transit experts. Urban planning expert Brent Todarian started the hashtag "Great Things That Happen Don't Transit," which was widely adopted by Twitter users in order to dispel Musk's notion that everybody hated public transport. Yona Freemark, an urbanist journalist specializing in planning and transportation, summarized Musk's views on public transport as, "It's terrible, you might be killed, Japanese trains are awful. Individualized transport for everyone, congestion, induced demand, climate change impacts, unwalkable streets, who cares?" Jarrett Walker, a known public transport expert and consultant from Portland, said that Musk's hatred of sharing space with strangers is a luxury or pathology that only the rich can afford. Elon Musk cannot hear broke, referring to the theory that planning a city around the preferences of a minority yields an outcome that usually does not work for the majority. Musk responded with, "You're an idiot," later saying, "Sorry, I meant to say sanctimonious idiot." The exchange received a significant amount of media attention and prompted Nobel laureate Paul Krugman to comment on the controversy, saying apparently, "You're an idiot" is Musk's idea of a cogent argument. So basically, Elon Musk does not speak the broke. Personal life. Philanthropy. Musk is a chairman of the Musk Foundation, which focuses its philanthropic efforts providing solar power energy systems in disaster areas. In 2010, the Musk Foundation collaborated with Solar City to donate a 25 kilowatt solar power system to the South Bay Community Alliance's Hurricane Response Center in Coden, Alabama. In July 2011, the Musk Foundation donated $250,000 towards a solar project in Soma, Japan, a city that has been recently devastated by a tsunami. In July 2014, Musk was asked by cartoonist Matthew Inman and William Turbo, the grandnephew of Nikola Tesla, to donate $8 million toward the construction of the Tesla Science Center at Wardenclyffe. Ultimately, Musk agreed to donate $1 million toward the project and additionally pledged to build a Tesla supercharger in the museum car park. Musk donated $10 million to the Future of Life Institute in January 2015 to run a global research program aimed at keeping artificial intelligence beneficial to humanity. As of 2015, Musk is a trustee of the X Prize Foundation and a signatory of the Giving Pledge. In October 2018, in an effort to help solve the Flint water crisis, Musk and the Musk Foundation donated over $480,000 to install new water fountains with filtration systems for access to clean water at all Flint, Michigan schools. Imagine living in a state that provides something like 70 or 80% of the nation's clean drinking water and not having water yourself. Imagine that. Family. Tosca Musk, Elon's sister, is a filmmaker. She's the founder of Musk Entertainment and has produced various movies. Musk met his first wife, Canadian author Justine Wilson, while both were students at Ontario's Queen's University. They married in 2000 and separated in 2008. Their first son, Nevada Alexander Musk, died of sudden infant death syndrome at the age of 10 weeks. They later had 5 sons in vitro fertilization, twins in 2004, followed by triplets in 2006. They shared custody of all 5 sons. In 2008, Musk began dating English actress Tallulah Riley. In 2010, the couple married, and in January 2012, Musk announced that he had ended his 4-year relationship with Riley. Tweeting to Riley, "It was an amazing 4 years. I will love you forever. You'll make someone very happy one day." In July 2013, Musk and Riley remarried. In December 2014, Musk filed for his second divorce from Riley. However, the action was withdrawn. The media announced in March 2016 that divorce proceedings were again underway, this time with Riley filing for divorce from Musk. The divorce was finalized in late 2016. Musk began dating American actress Amber Heard in 2016, but the two split up after 1 year due to their conflicting schedules. On May 7, 2018, Musk and Canadian musician Grimes revealed that they had begun dating. Joe Rogan podcast appearance. In mid-September 2018, Musk appeared on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast to discuss various topics for 2.5 hours. Within 5 days, the appearance had registered 10 million YouTube views. If only I could get that many views, that'd be great. One of the highest profile and controversial aspects of the program was Musk's puffing from a cannabis-laced cigarette offered by Rogan. The Washington Post observes, in the media's hands, it became a story about Musk's growing instability. Tesla's stock dropped after the incident, which coincided with the confirmation of the departure of Tesla's vice president of worldwide finance earlier that day. Fortune wondered if the cannabis use could have ramifications for SpaceX contracts with the U.S. Air Force. Though a U.S. Air Force spokesperson told The Verge that there is no investigation being carried out, that the Air Force is still processing the situation. In an interview on 60 Minutes, Musk said of the Joe Rogan pot smoking incident, "I do not smoke pot. As anybody who watched the podcast could tell, I have no idea how to smoke pot or anything." In popular media. In Iron Man 2, Musk met Tony Stark in a restaurant and had some brief lines regarding an idea for an electric jet. In January 2015, Musk made a guest playing himself on The Simpsons in an episode titled The Musk Who Fell to Earth. The episode poked fun at many of Musk's ideas. In November 2015, Musk appeared in an episode of The Big Bang Theory playing himself volunteering in a soup kitchen with Wolowitz. Musk was featured in the 2015 environmental documentary Racing Extinction, which accustomed him as a Model S was assigned out project images of critically endangered species on the public buildings, including the Empire State Building and the Vatican. In 2016, Musk appeared as himself in the romantic comedy film Why Him, where he was briefly met by one of the main characters, Ned Fleming, played by Bryan Cranston in Bar Party. Also in 2016, Musk was referenced by Martin Stein on the CW time travel show DC's Legends of Tomorrow. During time travel through the past, Stein meets his younger self, introduced himself as Elon Musk to disguise his own identity. In October 2017, Musk was prematurely immortalized as a historic pioneer on the CBS All Access series Star Trek Discovery. Set in the year 2256, Captain Gabriel Lorca attempts to motivate a scientist on a ship by asking him, "How do you want to be remembered in history?" Alongside the Wright brothers, Elon Musk, Zephyr, and Coltrane, was a failed fungus expert, a selfish little man who put his survival on his own ego before the lives of others. According to a TechCrunch article published the day before the episode aired, this mention is also interesting because it's a notable omission from Amazon and Blue Origin founder Jeff Bezos. The other space entrepreneur is such a big fan of Star Trek that he pitched and succeeded in landing a cameo in Star Trek Beyond as an alien being, but he doesn't rate a mention for Lorca among the spaceflight pantheon. Musk is significantly referenced numerous times in Hatfield's 2017 album, Neon Musk. In November 2017, Musk appeared as himself in Season 1, Episode 6 of the Big Bang Theory spin-off series, Young Sheldon, the successful first landing of the SpaceX Falcon 9, first stage on a drone ship on April 8, 2016, strong being covered by CNN. This is followed by a scene where Musk is shown in his office reading the notebook that young Sheldon mailed NASA in 1989, containing calculations detailing how this feat could be accomplished. In February 2019, Musk co-hosted YouTuber PewDiePie's show Meme Review with Justin Roiland, under the request of PewDiePie's fans. Well, that's the end of the wiki page. I know none of you are actually listening to this by now, seeing as this is my longest video yet, being an hour and 12 minutes, almost 13 minutes now. Nonetheless, please recommend some more things I should read about, and I'll try and do it. I'll try and read it next time. I'll be back in probably over a month. So thanks for watching. Nobody's actually listening right now. So see you next time.